A good nerve Shabbos. We're all looking forward to Shabbos today because today is a fast day. It's the 10th of Tevis, where we fast to commemorate the siege that was laid on Jerusalem and which subsequently led to the destruction of the temple. I wanted to talk a little bit about education because in this week's Torah portion, when we read about Jacob finding out that his son is still alive, Joseph sends a message, tell him that I'm living and I'm the viceroy of Egypt. And Jacob finds out. And recognizing that Joseph can't leave what he's doing, Jacob picks himself up and his entire family and makes the long trek to Egypt, where he meets his son after 22 years. But interestingly, the Torah tells us that before Jacob went, he sent Judah. Ves Yehuda shalach lefanav lahorot. He sent Judah before him. And Rashi, the commentary, immediately says, why did he send Judah? The reason he sent Judah was because he wanted Judah to build a yeshiva, a place of education. Because a Jew could never live in a place where there isn't proper Jewish education, where we aren't focused on the children and on teaching them the values that are important for them to grow up and to be God-fearing and to be kind and to be moral and to be ethical. We can't live in a place where there's no Jewish education. And since then, it's always been a Jewish tradition when you look where to live, to focus on what kind of education your kids are going to get. I saw this week, and this is what it leads me to think, I saw this week that Abe Foxman, a remarkable human being, a Holocaust survivor himself, who led the ADL for over 50 years, I think. I actually had the honor of meeting him at the rally in Washington and chatting with him over there. And David Harris, who was the head of AJC, both retired since, called that the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion that exists in universities today has to be done away with. And the reason they said was because the premise of it is wrong. And the idea that there's only oppressors and oppressed, and that all white people are oppressors, and all colored people are oppressed, first of all, is wrong, but has also led to, instead of inclusion, to tremendous exclusion, and the pain, and the targeting. And the whole premise has led our young liberal generation to be misguided in what it means to be an oppressor, what it means to be oppressed, what it means to be a victim, and not. And if you look around what's going on in the world, and you see what they've made of DEI, it's painful to say, but it's been the cause of all the anti-Semitism that we've seen on college campuses since October 7th. It's been festering before, but maybe it's a blessing in disguise that it's come to the forefront. Because for the past 20, 30 plus years, the community has ignored what's going on in colleges. And by the way, it's not just colleges. It's high schools. It's elementaries. And we've ignored the education of our children. But what we learned from Judah today, in this week's Torah portion, is that the first thing and the foremost is to always be the education of your children. And that we always have to focus and be careful on who's teaching it, what they're teaching, the curriculums, the ideas, and to make sure that in the name of equity and inclusion, they're not doing the opposite of discrimination and exclusion and anti-Semitism. We have to have this wake-up call and focus on this critical thing of what our children are being taught. May God protect our brothers and sisters in Israel. Looked after all of us. May we have a beautiful, sweet Shabbos. Maybe these days of fasting and sadness turn into days of joy and hope. God bless you. Have a great